Are you really ready to make change? Or are you just want to tell the next man what he can't do? Are you really ready to make change? Or are you just sitting back trying to see who's going to fail? Change is not hard to make. It takes unity. It takes all going in the same direction. It takes all putting their money in the same place. It takes all fighting for the same cause. You can't have a Republican over here and a Democrat over here and expect change. You must understand the Republican is American, the Democrat is an American, and they're here for white supremacy. You, the black person, are just somebody that you have to tolerate, you have to deal with. They cannot call themselves the leaders of the new world, the leaders of the free world, and exterminate you and uh, expect to be, expect to be recognized by the United Nations. There's no way they can go over and fight Germany and stop them from exterminating Jews. There's no way they can go over and form NATO and fight Russia and stop them from exterminating the Yugoslavians. And then turn around and exterminate the black man. Are you ready for change? Or are you just sitting back, letting things happen, letting the chips fall where they may? Are you ready for change? Or are you undermining what the next man's doing? Are you ready for change? Or are you talking bad about Jesse and Al and the minister? Are you ready for change? I hear a lot of insane comments, insane theories that voting does no good. We don't need a leader. What type of foolery is this? A leader does not just get appointed. No one can just pop a motherfucker up and say, hey, this is your leader. A leader comes from your clan. A leader comes from your community. A leader comes from your background. A leader is someone who steps up, takes control, and do what it is the community needs to do. Everyone's talking about Ice Cube. He met with Trump. He did this. He did this. Ice Cube is not my leader. Ice Cube is not my leader. Am I mad with Ice Cube for doing that? I don't know yet. I hadn't went to a town hall meeting that Ice Cube had led to hear my concerns, to hear what his proposals was. I hadn't got a questionnaire in the mail that Ice Cube sent asking what I needed or to hear what he had. So Ice Cube's plan is not about black people. Ice Cube's plan is about Ice Cube and what Ice Cube thinks the black people want based on maybe some conversations that Ice Cube has had. Am I mad at that? No, because Ice Cube is not a leader. Ice Cube is doing the best he can do. Ice Cube might become a leader. But right now, Ice Cube is not a leader. Ice Cube is making mistakes, and he will learn from his mistakes the same way he did as an adolescent, as a teenager, and as a young man. But someone has to do something besides sit back and tell the next motherfucker what he cannot do. So whether I'm with Ice Cube or against Ice Cube, I respect Ice Cube for what he's trying to do because Ice Cube is rich. Ice Cube don't even have to be here. Ice Cube can buy a home in Dubai and live there and say, fuck America. Ice Cube can buy a home in Italy and live there and say, fuck America. Ice Cube can buy a home in Jamaica and live there and say, fuck America. Ice Cube can buy a home in Cuba, Africa, Aruba, anywhere he fucking wants to. But Ice Cube decided not to leave his brothers behind. Ice Cube decided not to turn his back on his women. Ice Cube decided to do the best that Ice Cube knew how to do. So are you ready for change? Or are you ready to sit back and talk shit and tell the next person what he cannot do? You're not ready for change. Because if you was ready for change, your whole demeanor would be different. If you was ready for change, you wouldn't be fraternizing with your enemy like you do. When you would go around your enemy, you would go around your enemy with an agenda as your enemy comes around you. Sure, they smile in your face and they get you high. because they were assigned to get you high. Oh, wow, Jared got the best weed. Oh, wow, we can get this from the white guy. That's a plug. Have you noticed yet that America rehabilitates its white people, but black people die of overdoses, die in jail, die of disease? During the 60s, they had what they call free love, LSD experiments, where they were getting white people high as giraffe pussy, trying to unlock their minds and get them to think how black people think, get them to be creative. This is how Steve Jobs came about. In the year 1969, there shouldn't be any more San Franciscans. They should all have smoked themselves to death. They should all have snorted themselves to death. They should all have injected themselves to death. But somehow, the vast majority of the white population was rehabbed. Sure, you got some dead, because there's always going to be some nigga. There's white people who overdose too. There's always some nigga. There's white people who overdose too. There's always some nigga who will stand up for his oppressor. Compare the white people who overdosed to the black people who overdosed. Most white people got enough money to keep on going until they just kill themselves. Black people just need one hot shot. Why ain't white people getting hot shots? You know, I paused on purpose to give you a chance to think. Are you ready for change? Or are you going to just talk shit? Let the Ku Klux Klan come. I got something for the Ku Klux Klan. Let the Ku Klux Klan come. I got something for the Ku Klux Klan. No, you don't. Let the Ku Klux Klan come. What would you do? I'll fuck them up. Write that down and put that in a training manual so I can learn how to fuck them up. How do you do that? The Ku Klux Klan came to your city today. How would you plan out? Fuck them up. How? If the Ku Klux Klan came from the north end of your city and more came from the east part of your city, what are your responsibilities? Take your pistol and shoot? What you gonna hit? The wall, the pole, me, maybe a Klansman? What is your responsibility? Who is in charge of handling our wounded? Or you gonna take them to the hospital and let the white Ku Klux Klan doctors continue to kill them off? Who is in charge of cooking the food? Who is in charge of putting out the barbed wire at the barrier? Do you have barbed wire? Are you prepared to block the streets off? Do you have what it takes to hold off a tank? And I'm not saying the Ku Klux Klan have tanks. I'm just saying if the government get involved, who they gonna side with? Because the Klan has sent their trained, educated people into the military with an agenda. While you sat back talking shit, the Ku Klux Klan has educated and sent their kids into politics with an agenda. While you sat back talking shit. Are you ready to make change, or are you ready to talk shit? Or are you going to continue to talk shit? Are you going to tell somebody else what they cannot do? The first person to turn their back on niggas is talk about, I'm Christian, I'm Jesus, and all that. And in your Christian Bible, it tells you there is nothing on earth that you cannot do that you think about. There's nothing on earth that you cannot do that you think about. That means you can create a time machine if you sat down and kept trying and kept trying. But what have you tried to do? Where's the free space in your house? Your garage is probably filled up with junk. Where's your free space in your house? You probably got PlayStations and man caves and all this. No laboratories, no science, no nothing. People tell me, oh, well, what's science? You need a laboratory for that. A laboratory is nothing more than a kitchen, young man. A laboratory is nothing more than a kitchen, young man. You need a stove, you need an oven, you need utensils. Explain to me how you can cook crack. Explain to me how you can cook crack. A white man told you how. He assigned that to the hood. Crack was made in a laboratory. It took measurements. It took ingredients. And they came up with an addictive substance. How come you didn't find it? Go take the bark off this tree. Go take the bark off this tree. Look at it under a microscope. Put some ice to parts of it. Put some heat to others. See what happens. Combine the parts of that tree with parts of another tree. Combine parts of that tree with dirt, with rocks, with gold. See what happens. Combine parts of that tree with that damn fucked up pork that you love to eat. See what happens under a microscope. What the cells do. What do they create? You don't even think that way. Are you ready for change? Or are you ready to tell the next man what he cannot do?